Hello and welcome to Sorare Assist. This is episode 9 of my limited card journey series that you can find on this YouTube channel. If you've not seen the other episodes, please feel free to go back and check the other episodes. A lot to report since the last episode, including 11 new signings and some rewards as well. Before all that though, if you're new to the channel then welcome. If you're a returning visitor, nice to see you again. If you like this video, please do just that and like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ping that notification bell to be the first to be alerted about any new videos. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and Reddit by searching Sorare Assist. However, links are also in the description below. You can also check out our free website as well, sorareassist.com. It's got free Sorare resources on there. And if you've not signed up to Sorare yet, there is a link in the description below. If you want to get signed up today, get yourself a free limited card after buying any 5 cards. Okay, let's get on with this week's episode then, episode 9 of my limited card building journey. So first we'll start off with the results from the last 2 game weeks. So game week 2, 3, 1 we'll start with then. We'll just quickly go through the teams that I had. There wasn't that many fixtures to choose from in this game week in terms of the limited cards. So I finished 293rd in the All-Star Limited division. Wagner got a fantastic score of 78, Johnny Russell got 86, Captain unfortunately only got 59, and Jack Elliott had a bit of a disappointing week with only 22 points, and same for Gazan. But I did still finish on 301 points, which is pretty respectable, and due to that I got a tier 2 reward, and that reward was Patrick Greel. Now he does like a decent option in the Challenger Europe division. He's got some recent good scores, his stats are looking decent as well, so there's one that I'll maybe keep for now, just as a little backup option in the Challenger Europe. Game week 214, there was a few more teams involved in this game week. We'll start from the bottom, and that is the Global All-Star Limited. So I actually finished 3,480th with 240 points. Shin Jin Ho did fantastic with 62, he was a new signing from last week's video. Cecina he was my captain, and disappointing week for him really, he's usually such a high scoring player. Bitgram didn't play, Klassen got 54 which is quite respectable for a young player, and Brad Guzan got 52. 240, unfortunately it wasn't enough for a reward. Champion Europe division, I finished 702nd, this team is still in production really. Luis Alberto got 38, he's only just getting back into the side. Herrera, who is actually one of the new signings, which you'll find out in a minute. He did not play unfortunately, because I've just found out that he's injured now until the end of November, which is a bit disappointing. Captain Alba did well with 83. Max Muller-Arnold got 82, he was a new signing from last week's video. And also Aspas got 28, who was also a new signing from last week's video. Overall, 702nd with 258 points. Champion Asia. So there wasn't actually many fixtures in the Asia division, so I've actually got 3 players that did not play here. Bitgaram was meant to play, but unfortunately he wasn't in the side for this occasion, and he was my captain. But the other 2 did well for me, 80 and 62, the 2 that actually started. These players didn't have a fixture, but I just thought I'd put a team in there just in case I had a fantastic week from the 3 players that I was expecting to play and potentially get a reward. Champion America Limited, 292nd. So Wagner was my captain, he got 61. Patemis didn't play unfortunately. It looks like he's lost his place as a starting goalkeeper. But there is a twist in the tail there, and more to that story in a moment. Jack Elliott got 68, which was absolutely brilliant. 65 for Maximiliano Morales and 72 for Johnny Russell. So as you can see, some fantastic scores that week from every player that played. Now if Patemis did play, I was expecting a very good finish in this division, but unfortunately it didn't play and I only finished 292nd. However, that did get me a prize. That was a tier 3 limited, and that was Johan Kappelhoff, who I've put straight on the transfer list because he's not someone that I'm going to be keeping, and it's not really a position, a Champion America side that I need, so he is one that I'm going to look to sell. And on to the final one then. So Challenger Europe got a fantastic 386 points. That was a 62nd place finish. Now although I did get 386, I only did finish 62nd, as you can see, which shows that the limited category is a lot more competitive. Romo had a quieter week with 42, but the did have a difficult game away to Anderlecht, I believe. Yeah, there was a way to Anderlecht. Senesi had a fantastic week at 93. Lindell had a fantastic week as well, 93. Captain Beguus had one of his off weeks. He was my captain and he got 43. And Hallhauser had a fantastic week and got 80. So Hallhauser and Lindell do seem to be coming back to form now. That is why I bought them originally. So this is a bit of a lesson here. Just because some players go on a bit bad run of form, if they've got overall quality and they're usually consistent over a course of a season, don't look to sell them straight away. Keep hold of them. These two have done me good, as you can see here from these fantastic scores. Now, if we look at this, 386 points I got, 62nd played finish, which is good. But if Beguis had a good score, he normally gets over 60. I could have been in a very, very good position here and potentially got maybe even a star. You never know. But he finished 62nd in the end, and that got me a Tier 2 Limited. Now that Tier 2 Limited was Mats Colert. He plays for William II in the Netherlands division. He does look fairly decent actually. He's been on a recent run of form, seems to be getting the side a lot more recently. His stats look good as well. So he's one that I'm going to potentially keep because it does look like a good backup option. I've not got another forward in the Challenger Europe division at the moment apart from Beguis. So it's good to have a backup player, and he's quite young as well, and he seems to be coming into form. So it's one that I'm going to be keeping hold of. So overall, mixed results there, but some good, very good high scores from some of my players in the last 2 game weeks. And I also bagged free rewards as well, which wasn't too bad really. Okay, so now we'll move on to my latest signings since the last video. And like I say, there's 11 signings that I've done since last week's video. So I've been on a bit of a spending spree, but that is because I have managed to sell a rare card. And that was Zaniolo that I won in the Champion Europe division a few weeks back. So I have sold Zaniolo. That got me over £900. And I've been able to fund my limited collection a little bit more. So here are the signings since last week's video. So as you can see, I've spent a total of £913. Now I'll just go through these signings very quickly. So I've got Sergio Herrera, which was my Champion Europe goalkeeper. Unfortunately, he is injured now until the end of November. But he does look a very solid player. He's got a long contract as well with Osasuna. So he's pretty young as well, only 28. So he looks a fantastic signing. Now, Felix Torres was a defender that I've picked up purely for the international games. Only £9, but I wanted to have a bit of exposure during the international breaks and have some players in my limited collection who will be featuring in the international tournaments. But I didn't want to spend too much money and just wanted to fill up the gaps that I had in my team in terms of international players. So I got Felix Torres purely for that reason. I also bought Hector Herrera for the internationals only for £10 and Hong Chul for £4. So these players are not really expected to feature in my teams for the club matches. I've purely got these for some international fixture exposure. Cerny is one that I've liked the look of for quite a number of, for around a year now. Is one that I've got a rare of as well. And his stats look absolutely fantastic. He has been injured for quite a long time now, but I've read recently that he is back in training. So I'm hoping that we will start to see Cerny back in action, hopefully before the end of the year or next year. So I thought I'd snap him up now. It's a cheap price really, 39 for quite a young player who's got a lot of talent. Nicolas de la Cruz was another young player that I thought looked very, very cheap. He's been injured recently, in and out of the side a little bit due to injury. But he is getting some minutes for Uruguay internationally. And for River Plate, is an absolutely fantastic player. So for £49, I thought I would snap that guy up. Now, I've bought Andrea Blake, who was £101. Now, he's a goalkeeper to slot into my Champion America team. So, those of you who've watched the videos previously, I have already got 2 defenders from Philadelphia in my Champion America team. So, I thought Andrea Blake would be a good addition. And it's a good job I bought him because, as I've said, Patemis seems to have lost his place in the side now, so Blake was a fantastic acquisition to go with my Philadelphia stack. And I also got the idea to buy Blake as well from a regular viewer of my YouTube channel, Muldy7890. So shout out to you, Muldy. Thanks a lot for that suggestion of Andre Blake. Absolutely fantastic suggestion. And I've managed to get him at a very good price as well for a quality goalkeeper who's got a long contract, and he does look to make a number of saves during the game as well. He looks like a fantastic player. And the plus side is he's also a Jamaican international, so he can slot into my international team that I'm going to show you guys in a moment. Another signing that I made was Andre Kramaric of Hoffenheim. Fantastically consistent player. He was good last season, and I expect the same to happen this season as well. So I've snapped him up to strengthen up my forward line in my Champion Europe team. £115. Xavier Mercier was a good signing from a Challenger Europe side, just to strengthen the team a little bit more, and he cost £85. But he was just a quality signing that I wanted to spend some money on, just to bolster up my team a little bit more, and my overall limited squad. Now, another fantastic signing that I've been after for quite a number of weeks now, pretty much since these videos started. Previous viewers of these videos will know that. And that is Carlos Gil of New England Revolution. I finally managed to snap him up for a fantastic price, I think, £165. He's got a long contract with the New England Revolution till 2024. And I would argue that he's one of the best scoring midfielders on the platform in every region. So I'm very happy to get a copy of his card. He's only young as well, only 28. And I expect him to have some fantastic seasons and some fantastic scores for me over the next few years. So I'm very happy with that acquisition. I may even consider purchasing another one as well for the Global All-Star team. But this one I'll be using for the Champion America team. Now, another fantastic signing that I've got is Rafael Guerrero. His price is a little bit down at the moment because he's injured, but he is due back middle of November. So I thought I'd snap him up while the price was low. Fantastic quality defender. He's also a Portuguese international as well, of course, and he's just a fantastically consistent player as well. His scores are fantastic on Sorare. So that was all the purchases from since last week's video. £913 total in spent on these signings, but like I say, most of this was funded from the sale of a rare card that I won in the Champion Europe Division 4. So let's have a look at the players sold then since last week's video. So no sales at all this week. I have put some players up for sale, but none unfortunately have sold, which is no big drama really, and I can always relist them. So let's move on to my squads now, and how these new signings of 11 players have affected my SO5 teams in terms of my limited Division 5 squads. So first we'll start with the Global All-Star. Not much change here really. Same team as last week. Gazan in goal, Fukumori in defence, Halhauser in midfield, Cecina in forward, and Hernandez up front as well. On the sub bench I've got Nani, and also Gil is a shortlist for this team, because of course I've recently bought a Gil, but that's going in my Champion America side. Total cost for this team at the moment is $393. Champion Asia now, again not much change here. Guy in goal, Tate in defence, Bikram in midfield, Jinho in midfield, and Dimao up front. And I've got plenty of substitutes on the bench as well, which is very useful seeing as the Bikram seems to have been in and out of the team recently. I'll look at his situation come next season. I'm not going to sell any Asia players at the moment, or America players, because as we know their prices are steadily going down due to those seasons coming to an end. But I'll reassess the squads next season and maybe then look to sell some players. But the total cost so far of this team is £335. Champion Europe side is looking absolutely fantastic now, looking very, very strong. So I've got new signing Blake slotted in the goal there. I've also got Wagner and Elliott in defence for Philadelphia Union. So I've got a stack there of Philadelphia Union, which is absolutely brilliant, especially if they keep a clean sheet. Got the fantastic Gil in midfield, who's going to be consistently getting me good scores, probably be captain most weeks. And I've also got Johnny Russell up front as well, which was a reward from a previous game week. So this team is looking very, very solid. So on the bench, I've got Patemis, who does seem to be out of favour, like I say, but I'm hoping he can get back in favour, or even maybe move away from Montreal and find another club where he's going to get first team football. I've got a youngster here at 4, looks pretty decent in terms of stats. He was a reward, so he's one that I'm keeping because he's only 20. I'll keep Maximilian Morales as well, potentially. Bit older, but he's still a quality player. Same with Blanco. He's another fantastic player. He's come back from a long injury. He's starting to show some of the form that he's shown before his injury. And I expect him to get back to form come next season. Nani's another player that I think has still got some qualities. And I'm hoping that he's going to continue playing next season as well. Nicolas de la Cruz is obviously a new signing. He's a fantastic player for River Plate. Only young as well. Some fantastic scores. He's been linked to some big clubs. But I'm hoping he actually stays in Argentina. So he's one that could potentially slot in even for one of these defenders, I would say. On a harder fixture, I'll probably take one of these players out and put De La Cruz in, especially if River Plate have an easy fixture. So the total cost of this team now is £365. Challenger Europe then, we've got the new signing Mercier slotted straight into the midfield. He's replaced Lindell. Lindell has been on good form recently, but between the two, I'd say Mercier was probably my first choice. And the bonus is that I've got the goalkeeper as well for Laverne, so it's looking good in terms of a little bit of a Laverne stack there. Got Senesi in defence, who was a quality defender, he was a reward. Hallhauser in midfield and Bergwas up front, who I snapped up for a fantastic £112 back in August. And these are some of the substitutes that I've got on the substitute bench. A couple of rewards there, Wendell and Greel. So I've got a good few backups there for each position, which is absolutely fantastic. And I've just noticed that I've not put the reward in there that I've won recently, which of course was Matt's Collette. Another forward, so it's going to be good to have 2 forwards as backup, and especially 2 players who are young as well. So this team is looking very, very good. £563 is the total spend on this team. Moving on to Champion Europe now, this team has been strengthened with the signings of Guerrero and Kramaric, and of course I've now got a goalkeeper. He is out at the moment though, unfortunately, until the end of this month. I can still obviously use these players in the Global All-Star if necessary, especially if they have a really easy fixture, because these are all good quality players. Got a few players on the sub-bench as well. Papu Gomez is recovering from an injury. Aspas should be playing most games really. He's a little bit older now, but he's still a fantastic player and he's got a long contract. Drissi is a fantastic player in terms of his stats for Sorare. His stats are looking really impressive. If he can start getting 90 minutes, I think he's going to be a fantastic scorer on Sorare. But that's not happening at the moment, but he has been injured quite a lot recently. But I'm hoping he can find his feet, and he was only £8. Luis Alberto has recently got back into the Napoli team. I've been a fan of him for quite a few years now. Do like Alberto, he's a fantastic player when he starts getting 90 minutes. I think he's going to rack up some big scores. It was £97 from last week's video. So the total spend on this team now is £889. So under 23s, I've not got any players in this region specifically, but what I might do is I might start putting some of the under 21 team players that I've got already and within my limited squad into these slots just to start putting a under 23 global team in there. Goalkeeper's missing of course, but I may potentially buy Tani while he is cheap, because obviously the Japanese league is coming to an end, so I may buy Tani with the view to getting his XP up ready for next season, and I could also potentially use him for the rest of this season as well. So he's one that I'm looking to snap up at a budget price. Now moving on to the international team then. So this is a team that I just wanted to put together just so that when we've got the international break, I have got some players to put into the SO5 tournaments. Because you'll find international breaks, there's quite a lot of managers who don't have a full team of international players, and that's going to reduce the amount of managers that's actually entering the tournament. So you could have a better chance of potentially winning some prizes or getting a high finish. So as we know, I have made a few signings for this team, and that is Chul, Torres and Herrera. They was all solely bought for the international side. But of course, I've got these other players in my other teams who are also internationals. De La Cruz is a Uruguayan. He's getting some games for Uruguay, but not a permanent fixture yet. But if I was to put an international team together for the international break, I would potentially put all these players in the team. Now there is an international break coming up on the 11th of November, for those of you guys who are not aware, and I have recently done a video, the last video that I put out actually on the 3rd of November, so go check that out. I've put some budget international players there on a video, so check them out. Herrera is featured, so is Torres, and so is Chull. But it's very good to have an international team ready for those international breaks. For two reasons. Like I say, you've got a better chance of winning something potentially. There's going to be less managers competing. And also, it's going to break the boredom of the international breaks as well. So, definitely worth checking out. And this team cost me £23 in terms of the free players that I needed to buy to make sure that I had a full international team there. These squads are looking absolutely brilliant now, all these teams. I'm going to probably try and stop buying as many cards now, because I think I have got some very, very solid teams there. Like I say, I may potentially buy Tanny just to put him into the under-23 team, and I may potentially buy another Gil, but I think I'm going to wait until the American League's finished, just so that its price is even cheaper. So now let's move on to my total card collection then. So here is every single card that I own. Now the figures underneath is the 1 month average value, selling value of those players, okay? The 1 month average value of all those cards added together is £3,821. So that's the average selling value of the last month. So that is effectively the average price of my gallery over the last month. So now let's see how that affects my total profit and loss then, since starting this series around 10 weeks ago. So we'll go through some numbers first of all. As you can see here, these are all the prices of my teams that I've just gone through, and the total cost of all them teams is £2,666. This figure here is ETH from limited card sales and ETH rewards. So total sales is £125. That's the cards that I've sold. I've not won any ETH rewards yet, so obviously you need to finish first, second or third in the limited divisions. So the total value of the limited card collection, the 1 month average price, selling price, is £3,821, which I just went over in the last slide. So if we add all these figures together and subtract the total cost, that equals a total profit of £1,280, which I'm obviously very pleased with. Last week's profits and loss was £1,129. So considering I've made all those purchases, the overall value, profit and loss has gone up. That is because I've obviously won some cards, and a lot of my cards have also gone up in value. I have noticed that some of my Asia cards and America cards have started to go down slightly, but not too much just yet. So this is my total profit and loss so far, £1,280. Very pleased with that after 10 weeks. And now I've done most of my purchasing in terms of building all the squads. What I'm hoping now is that the rewards will just start piling in week on week, and this number will get higher and higher. That's what we all hope for anyway. So let's move on now to my potential teams for the upcoming game week. So here we are then, game week 216, this is 4. So I'll quickly run through my potential limited teams, and we'll start with the Asia division here. So I've gone for in goal, Guy. Fukumura in defence, who's back from injury recently, which is good. Jin Ho, who's had a fantastic game today, in fact. Kaneko as well in midfield, same team as Fukumura, of course. And I've gone for Captain Cecina. And the good news is these have all got a fixture as well, which obviously helps. So I'm hoping for a successful week there. Champion America team, I've got the Philadelphia stack, which sounds like a sandwich. I think it maybe is even a sandwich. But I've gone for that, the Philadelphia stack there, so I'm hoping for a clean sheet there. Gil as my captain, new signing, and Johnny Russell up front. Now on paper, this team looks absolutely fantastic, I'm sure you'll agree. But what will potentially happen is Philadelphia will concede, and Gil will have a quiet week, something like that. But let's hope not. Let's hope it's all positive and I get a reward potentially. Now moving on to the Challenger Europe team. So I've got Roma in goal, Senesi in defence, Halhauser in midfield, new signing Mercia in midfield as well, and Captain Peguas, who I'm hoping for a better week from him. So again on paper, this team looks absolutely fantastic. So finishing up then, I've got a global all-star team here. In goal I've got Brad Kazan, I've got Jordi Alba in defence. Maximilian Arnold as the captain because they're at home to Augsburg. And I've got Jovan Hernandez up front. Easier fixture there for them as well at home to Minnesota. And also Kramaric up front as well, who is of course a new signing. So those teams are looking very, very solid. And hopefully I'll have some rewards to report back to you guys in next week's episode. Don't forget, next week's episode is on Friday. These episodes are always every Friday. We're going to keep this weekly series going probably for the next few weeks or so, maybe even until the end of the year, just to see what that profit and loss figure is going to look like. But as I say, all these teams are pretty much done now, I would say. I've spent quite a lot of you, as you guys have seen. So I'm hoping now just to sit back, start seeing the rewards pile in over the next few weeks and months. And then we'll see what my overall profit and loss is when I finish this video series. But like I say, it's probably not going to be till the end of the year when I do finish this weekly series. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying this weekly series. You do seem to be. I seem to be getting a lot of regular viewers on this weekly series. Thanks for watching as always. Thanks for your comments as well. And if you do like the video, as always, do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Got some fantastic ideas coming in the new year and more content as well coming your way. Also, check out our website as well, sorareassist.com. Some free resources on there. You can also follow me on Twitter as well, Facebook, Instagram and also Reddit. And of course, if you're not signed up to Sorare yet, what are you waiting for? Get signed up today, get yourself a free limited card after buying any 5 cards. And if you've got any comments or any mentions in terms of my teams, injuries, anything like that, do let me know in the comment section below. It would be great to hear from you guys as always. Okay, thanks for watching. That's it for this week. And I'll see you again in next week's episode. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.